There's a lesson in prospecting and lead generation and door knocking today that I'm going to share with you. It's a great story, so stay with me. I'm Coach Randy Byrd, eXp Realty. I've been a coach for 10 years, started with Tom Ferry. Now I've been coaching for about 6 years directly for my own company, Like a Boss Coaching. But I was sitting out front this weekend, beautiful Arizona. We just moved to Arizona down in Peoria, Vistancia, sitting out front having a cigar in my chair. And I saw a kid walking door to door across the street over there, young guy, probably maybe all of 18 or 19. And I saw him going door to door, and then he saw me sitting out front. So he crossed the street. Well, I was on my headphones talking to a client. And so I was like, hey, come back. I'm on the phone, I'm talking, and I'm on in my earbuds. And he goes, oh, okay, okay. So we went all the way around the blocks, probably 60, 70 houses around this block. And it's a big cul-de-sac circle, basically. And then it leads back out to Vistancia Boulevard. And he comes back to me, and my door's shut. I'm out of the garage now. I'm in my office right by the front. I could see him walk by, and he knocks on the door. I go answer the door. I go, hey, how you doing? He goes, actually, I'm not doing very good. I think today's my last day. And I go, really? What happened? And he goes, well, this is my very first day. And I walked and knocked all these doors, and the people that I talked to are just mean. They're just like literally mean to me, yelling at me and telling me to get off the porch and, screaming at me. And he was almost in tears. He was literally almost in tears. And, I'm a prospecting coach. I talk about call reluctance and calling people that you don't want to call and how to open those conversations up with value. And I said, hey, man, can I give you some advice? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, I go, don't take that serious. Don't take that personal. You're taking that personally. And he goes, yeah, but it's hard when everybody's just mean to you. I said, yeah, but what's your goal? And he goes, well, my goal is to get two. He's doing roof inspections for a company. They hired him to come out and try and get roof inspections, which leads to roofs, right? This subdivision here is 20 years old, but everything's stucco. If you know what that means, it's the terracotta Spanish style roofs. These things don't go bad in 20 years, which that's a different conversation for the roofing contractor that sent them out here. But as a general, you're not replacing roofs in 20 years typically with these. These are 50-year roofs. But maybe the roof inspection is a way to get them a client and patch vents and put new collars and mastic and just weather tight the roof probably for 400 or 500 bucks, that's a good deal. Maybe that's what he's doing, but I didn't ask. What was more important to me, and as I said, so what are you trying to accomplish? And he goes, if I could just get like two people a day, that'd give me, I get 25%, that'd give me 100 bucks, whatever the number was. And I said, that's the focus. That's got to be your goal is I'm going to make $100 a day. And you're going to do that by just getting two people that say yes to this roof inspection, right? And that's $1,000 worth of roof inspections. You get $100, $200, whatever it is. And he goes, yeah, but it's so hard in between. Everybody's mean. And he was really dreary and literally almost crying. He was just like, no, I don't think so. This is my last day. And I go, let me just give you a little bit of hope on this and a piece of advice. Focus on the no's. Don't go for the yeses because then you're attached to it. Just know that you have a number or a metrics in your business. And he looked at me and I said, let's just say how many houses you knock on today. He goes, I talked to like 15 people and I probably knocked on 50 doors. I go, okay. So the time of day would matter, right? So if you're a real estate agent, listen to this, think about the numbers here. If he's in the middle of the day, this was probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Nobody's at home. They're working, right? But the ones that are working are probably working from home. They don't want to be disturbed. So there's an argument of all this. But stay with me. If he knocked on 50 doors and talked to 15 people, there's metrics around that. That means that if he knocked on 100 doors, he's going to talk to 30 people mathematically. If he talks to 30 people and he gets one person to say yes, that means his math is 30 to 1. If he knocks on 50 doors, talks to 30, or knocks on 100, talks to 30, talks to two people, that means it's 15 to 1. So I said, what about if you did this enough to where you figured out what that math was and then you were unattached to it? You just are going for no. I used to teach a class on going for no. What that was instead of being attached to the yes, focus on the no, right? What that means is, hey, knock, knock, knock. Do you mind if we do a free roof inspection? You want to polish your pitch, your elevator pitch, your sales pitch in that 30 to 60 seconds. But as that gets better, people are going to respond to it with yes or no. And if they're a no, just know that that's check mark towards your 15, right? Instead of getting attached to the mad people, they're just a no. Whether they're mad at you or they just say, oh, you're so sweet, thank you, but no, it's still the same answer. And he goes, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. And I said, I'm going to help you in your young career. You have to get thick skin and understand they're just reacting to something that's going on, right? There's a lot of solicitors, there's a lot of noise, the marketing, the average person is getting thousands of marketing impressions a day from cold text, cold mail in the mailbox. They're circling themselves in a moat around their house, meaning that they have literally a moat that they built. They've got do not solicit signs, they've got caller ID on their phones. They don't even have house phones anymore, it's all cell phone. So we've protected ourselves. We're getting mail, we're opening it over the trash can, right? If somebody's knocking, we're looking through the blinds, I'm not going to answer. Solar is a big deal right now. The solar people are walking around 5 times a month now. It's aggressive, it's abusive. But again, the math works if you're willing to get out there and hustle. So my message was him was give it a couple weeks, figure out the math behind it, and then make it a game, make it fun. Just say, hey man, that's awesome. That's another check mark for no. I know I have to get 28 no's out of 30 people I talk to get my 2 yeses. But if you get those 2 yeses, you reach your milestone for what your income will be and what your predictable result will be. He looked at me like I was an alien, but he's like, wow, this, I never thought of it that way. Agents, you're not thinking of it this way. You're not thinking of it like I'm getting rejected or I'm getting turned down or this is not worth it. You've got to look at the outcome and then say, what is the measured amount of energy to get that outcome and is it worth it, right? I've door knocked plenty in my career. One of the best door knocks you could do as a real estate agent is to go to an open house that you're going to be doing on Saturday and all week focus on knocking on 100 of those doors at different times and trying to meet as many people as possible and coming from a place of gratitude, servitude, and contribution rather than ask, right? Hey, I've got an open house. Come check it out. You might want to buy it. We could sell your house, do all that, right? Instead, what about this script? Hey, Randy Byrd, eXp Realty, we're doing a mega open house this weekend over at 123 Banana Street, and you're within the circumference that we're going to have a lot of traffic. We do a lot of marketing, we do a lot of signs. You're going to see 20, 30, 40 signs out. It looks like there's an estate sale. So I'm just letting you know there might be some extra traffic. People might park in your driveway or in front of your house a little bit. That's what's going on. We're expecting a big crowd and a lot of traffic. So here's my business card. My name is Randy Byrd with eXp. If anybody parks in your driveway, if anybody blocks your mailbox or driveway, call me. I'll make sure we handle it because they're probably going to be at my open house. And we'd love to see you. Come by and check it out. Meet your neighbor. And I'd love to have you out there. Okay, so you've done a couple things. You've given your business card. You've put yourself in position to be a baller, right? This guy's going to have so much traffic. He's coming around to warn me, right? Even if you have 8 cars there, they're going to watch how many cars are driving around the neighborhood. And every car that goes by, they're going to think that one's going to Randy Byrd's open house. He told me there was going to be extra traffic here. So like if you have little kids out here on Saturday, just be careful with their bikes and stuff because we might have a lot of traffic, right? You see what I'm doing is I'm offering them value in the contribution of warning them, inviting them, and I'm not pitching a service or product. All right. The likelihood of them kind of coming to the open house is better rather than you saying, hey, I'd love you to come by the open house. You might like it. We could sell your house. They're going to stay away from that. But just come check it out. See how we do things, and it'll be awesome. All right. So I appreciate you. Hope this helps. And to that little young man, if he ever watches this YouTube, stay with it. Get a couple weeks into it, and you're going to get past that initial fear. Thank you. Have a great day. It's Randy Byrd.